Coming up next on the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast.
Sometimes that means you might butt heads a little bit, and that's good because it means you are considering other perspectives, because it's not always just our way or the highway.
From your first dollar to your first million, welcome to the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast, presented by ZenMade. Join your host, Stephanie Pipkin, founder of Serene Clean, as she shares proven tips, tricks, and hard-earned lessons. Whether you're just starting out or ready to scale, get ready to discover how to build your own cleaning empire. Let's roll up our sleeves and dive in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Filthy Rich Cleaners. I am your host, Stephanie Pipkin, and on this very special episode, we have an in-person interview with our lovely ladies here from Tenacity University and Tenacity Cleaning Company. So we have Miss Katrina Johnson and Tamika. Thank you, ladies, for coming to my home today here in Savannah.
It's our pleasure. Okay, you had the pleasure of interviewing with me, and I'm not even gonna lie. On that interview, I think you were at my studio for about 4 hours.
It's a never-ending YouTube podcast. It's what, 3 parts, 4 parts?
The conversation was so good, and I'm so amazing. But for everybody that doesn't know who I am, my name is Miss Johnson. I'm the owner of Tenacity Clean, based out of Savannah, Georgia. This is my wonderful partner here, Miss Tamika.
Yes.
She's my assistant.
Yes, you guys. Everything about it does not feel like an interview. It does not feel like it's like you can just talk about business and the conversations are endless, especially when you know the ins and outs of just everything. So I'm just happy to be here. I'm ready to get started and answer some questions.
Absolutely.
I was happy to hear that you were in Savannah.
Yeah.
Like, we watch Stephanie on ZenMade channel all the time. Shout out to ZenMade, okay? But we watch her videos all the time. And when I found out you were in Savannah, you said something about Savannah. I'm like, Savannah? We got to get up with her. We got to get up with her.
I know. It's been really wonderful to make this connection with you ladies, because, as you know, I always say, it can be such a lonely road.
Yeah. Being
in business ownership, even the cleaning business in general, because we're out in the field by ourselves as well. So yeah, it's been wonderful to make these connections. And that's why I encourage everybody, like, use the internet for what some of the best things out of it are, which obviously these ladies have a amazing YouTube channel. If you guys have not checked it out, I watch it all the time. And what I really appreciate is, I mean, truly the candid cleaning conversations and being candid and honest with all of the struggles and wins. But I think a lot of people tend to just show the wins, especially in today's day and age. We're afraid to show when we fail. Right. And so I really appreciate the fact that you ladies are very authentic and honest and show the struggles, you know, and that we all make failures, or we all have failures, all make mistakes. And, but you keep pushing forward. So I'd love to just give a moment, and hear your guys' stories. How did you come to be in Tenacity?
Tenacity Clean. Well, I actually founded Tenacity Clean back in 2019, but it wasn't my first cleaning company. My first cleaning company was called Georgia's Heavenly Cleaners. That was my very first cleaning company. And that was back in 2018. Okay. So I started Georgia's Heavenly Cleaner. The reason why I started is because I used to clean houses with my mom. And my mom, when she cleaned houses, she was just cleaning houses just to take care of the family. Right. I thought that we can take this thing to another level and actually turn it into a business. Right. So I decided to start Georgia's Heavenly Cleaners. And my company quickly grew to, let's say, about 70,000 in my first year. So not that bad. But what happened was I ended up having to file bankruptcy and close the company down, because you can grow fast. It's more to business than just getting clients and getting people to do the work, right? I'm a hustler. Okay. I come from the projects, right? And all I know is hustle, hustle, grind, hustle, hustle, grind. Well, you only could do that but so much before you can actually start putting some real systems in place.
Business savvy.
Yeah. I wasn't business savvy at all in the beginning. So I took a lot of shark loans. I told this story a million times. I took shark loans, and those are the predatory loans, right? Yeah. And for me, like them giving me $10,000, that was big. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to just give me $10,000, right? And then not knowing what to do with the $10,000 when you get it. Like, you're thinking, okay, I could take this 10, I could pay for payroll, but you have no plan on how you're going to pay the 10 back. Right. So that
and the interest.
Yeah, and the interest with the interest. Yes. So these are the struggles that I had in my first year of entrepreneurship. I didn't understand, and my pricing was bad, not to mention. Pricing was awful. I priced too low. I priced like I was doing the cleaning. I didn't price for outsourcing, and then I started to outsource. First company was a disaster, right? So I filed bankruptcy at the end of 2018, and I wanted to give up. I started to give up, right? But then I started to think, if I go get a job, that lifestyle sucked too. And I'll just still be pissed off because I was pissed off in the job. So I say, let me try it again. And this time when I try it out, this time I'm going to put a lot more thought into it. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to get out of hustle, grind mode. Really try to put some systems in place. Maybe I need to get a coach. Maybe I need some help, So I decided to try again. And with my second company, we decided to name it Tenacity because I felt like that's what I needed to have to take that next step. Take the step again and do it again, right? So that's how we became Tenacity Clean. And I started that November of 2019. That's who we are now to this day. I met Tamika in 2021, right after COVID. Maybe it was it was after the COVID era. That's when I met Tamika. Yeah. And you want to tell your story?
Well, I came into a world of, I don't know what this is. Like, what did she just bring me into? Because I'm used to the 9 to 5. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, being told what to do. And just to have, like, independency, it was like, okay, this is something different. Like, I actually get to be my own boss. I don't have to wait for someone to tell me what to do. I can actually do it myself. Right. So I was like, wow, this is something different. Now, I do have customer service background, so I knew how to talk. Because when we met, she was like, hey, I'm looking for some cold callers. You'll be perfect for this. You should be able to do this. So I'm like, okay, no worries. So I slid right on in. It was so easy. But I didn't know it was the other stuff, which is the tough conversations that you have to have with people. And it's those tough conversations, like, you really have to walk on eggshells to talk to people. You can't just say what you really want to say. And then it was another layer of the finances. Then it was another layer of the back end, the systems. It was just so much. It was overwhelming for me when I first got here. But one thing I can tell you that it has done for me, it has given me self-development, because it has shown me a different way of thinking. It actually reconstructs me, for how I think about things.
It changes you.
Yeah, totally. It does. It helps you to make better decisions, because now you don't think just in the now, you think broad. You're like, you know what, if I make this decision, it's going to affect me how? You know what I'm saying? Down the line, who else will it affect? Because when you make a decision in business, it does not just affect you. It affects everybody.
And that pressure and that it's a very grave thing, to take seriously. You are potentially negatively affecting a lot of people and families.
It's one thing I can tell you, like, it is so lonely and it's not easy. It's like you mentally have to be built for this. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's so much that comes with it. People are not going to understand your dream. They're not going to understand where you're trying to go. And as long as your intentions are good and you know where you're trying to go, I feel like it's inevitable. You know what I mean? Like, it's endless of what you can accomplish. And a lot of people say it's about the destination. No, it's about the journey for me, because it's who you meet along the way.
Yes.
Good segue
there.
I made Tamika walk off her job.
Yeah, really?
She did.
She still has the headsets to AT&T. When I was talking to her on the phone, I was saying what I was saying. And she was like, oh, my gosh, how were you feeling in that moment when you walked off?
Like, to be honest with you, I was like, girl, this lady don't know what she's talking about. Why she trying to make me walk off my job? I mean,
I didn't tell you to walk off your job. I didn't think that you were going to do it.
Listen, low key, listen, she told me to walk off my job. Okay? Like,
I didn't say it in those words.
Long story short, she told me to walk off my job.
I did tell you I was coming to Atlanta. She was in Atlanta, and I did tell her I was coming to Atlanta to pick her up. And she's, you coming here is where you're going, because you're better off here
she
than in the situation that she
How
was
did
in.
you guys meet?
Online. We met online. Yeah. So that's how we met. But she was like, come here. She was like, you don't have to worry about getting paid this amount of money, how much you're getting paid. And I'm like, you're asking me kind of personal questions.
Yeah.
Then it was a more so instance of, well, I don't want you to be here. Let me show you different ways. And everybody, they do like a lot of good talking.
Yep.
And it's like, you don't know what to believe.
Well, who's who? Because everybody can talk well. Exactly.
The thing is, she's not telling you her full story, but she was homeless and she was living with some strangers, you know, and when she was telling me her story, and we had been talking for probably a couple of months or whatever, and it was just something about Tamika. You know how some people have that it factor?
Oh, you just know.
And I'm like, girl, you know what? You'll be better off over here.
You could be so successful.
Yeah, you could be so. And I saw so much in her, and I'm like, girl, you can do better over here. Let's be a team. Let's just come. If you don't like it, you can go back to where you was at. But I guarantee you, you'll be better off.
Well, and it's just, Tenacity. You know, with both of your stories of, you know, it was not an easy path for either of these ladies. And I think that the beautiful thing about our industry and, you know, business ownership in general, but specifically our industry, there's such a low barrier to entry, which means a lot of times you have a lot of shitty competition who doesn't do good quality. But what that means is that if you have the grit, the will, the tenacity, you can be successful. And these ladies are a living testament to that, of like, look at their backstories. You've gone through a lot of struggles and you've made it. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's not to say that it's all, you know, sunshine and roses. You guys have challenges today, and we'll talk about some of those, of course. Right. But it's very inspiring that you became the women that you are now. Very inspiring.
She took a leap of faith, and that's what entrepreneurship is all about. Taking a leap of faith, because she didn't know who I was. I could have been lying to her or whatever. She did check my YouTube channel out.
That you were like abducting her.
I was able to finesse her through with YouTube. I'm like, just check my channel out. Listen, I have a reputation to uphold. Okay, so I'm not going to be snatching people up from Atlanta and just being, you know, negative with them. Like, I just not like that.
Yeah, my roommates were like, Tamika, you don't even know
you don't know this lady.
They're like, what are you doing? You just
everybody
leave. I was like, well, to be truthfully honest, I don't really know y'all either. So, so let's be clear.
Thank you. Okay,
that's funny. That's funny.
She's been amazing, and she was the missing part to Tenacity Clean, because when I met her, it's hard wearing all the hats. You know, in the beginning, you're the marketer, you're putting together the systems, you're having to do quality control, you're doing everything, you're doing sales, everything. So I'm literally living in my office, even though I'm paying rent cross town for an apartment, I'm paying rent for my mom, I'm paying rent in 3 different places, but I was living in my office, like literally working until I sleep and waking up in the office. That was my life, and then I'll go home. So it was people in the building that was like, "Is this girl got somewhere to stay or not?" I'm like, "I got somewhere to stay. I'm paying rent in 3 different places. I'm going crazy right now. Is what's happening." So I really needed some help, and she was able to come in and see the little things that I was going through, and she was like, man, she fell in love with Tenacity Clean. She fell in love with the whole the cleaning industry in all, you know. So I turned her on into entrepreneurship. When I used to talk to her about it, she was like, no, I'm gonna get 2 jobs. I already know I got a plan on how I'm gonna get out of this. And I'm like, girl, no. Just come here, because I already have a platform set up. Just help me with cold calling, help me get some sales in, help me with interviewing process. So I just literally, I taught her everything I knew, and I had to be an open book with her, you know, because I'm taking an individual from a whole nother city and bringing them into my world, she has to trust me.
And you had to trust her. And that's something that, I'd love to hear more about when it comes to, I see so many people making really poor decisions on who they partner with in business. And it can literally destroy their business. Their business can be stolen. They lose friendships. They lose family. So, any tips you have for people who are considering partnering with somebody?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Because I'm not. So we're both not so open with people. Like, it's not like we just do this, just go across town and pick people up, strangers up. It was something about Tamika that drawed me to her, and I felt like she wasn't, I felt like she was a good person. I can't tell you what it was. Maybe it was the fact that she wrote a song for me. She wrote a whole song. She would do things that
typical person
abnormal stuff, and I was like, oh, this girl's a little different. She's a little different, and I know she was just trying to find her way. But tips on trying to find a partner. I feel like in the beginning part, I truly feel like cleaning business owners, they want to partner with their friend, or they want to partner with their whoever.
Or like, oh, my mom wants to clean, so
and now y'all want to go into a whole partnership together. But the problem with that is you got two people that know nothing about business. Like, I would say you're better off just doing your own thing. If you know nothing and she knows nothing, what are we doing here? And then you're going to do a 50-50 split on it. Who's differentiating whether she's even worthy of the 50%?
And laying out the responsibility and skills. You both need to bring things to the table. And I get it if you don't know what that looks like because you're both starting out. But really laying out who is going to do what, because if you're going to 50-50 split the money, it needs to be 50-50 the responsibility.
It almost never works out when two people come from nothing and they try to partner on an LLC together. I hear the stories. We're coaches now, so I don't like it. I would advise people to just, you get a company and maybe sub some work out to her or whatever until you guys figure some things out. That's the way I would coach a person to do. For me, in my situation, I had been in business. I had already learned. I already knew what I wanted in Tamika, and I needed her to be an assistant first. So I hired her to be an assistant. It wasn't a partnership. Okay. And then it didn't become a partnership until a couple of years down the line when she had proven what she can do now. I know she can build funnels, websites, you name it, she can do. Okay. So now it's like turned into a partnership. Okay. So, but that's what I would say for my tips. Two new people, I don't think that they need to partner.
No, don't do it. And that's the thing is, like, even everybody gets very gung-ho about, getting into business, and we're all excited and the adrenaline's pumping and we're motivated. And then the problems start to happen and the failures start to happen. And all of a sudden, most people quit then. Most people quit. So if you have not seen this person in those situations, are they going to quit? Are they going to behave in ways that you do not agree with? Everything's great and hunky-dory when it's all going good in the beginning. But what happens when things goes wrong and you guys totally disagree with how things should be handled, or maybe don't have the same core values or ethics or whatever? You don't know that till you see them in a bad situation. It's just like in a relationship. It's just like when you're dating somebody. It's like, okay, everything's great when you're going on dates, you're going on vacation, but what happens when somebody gets sick or you're having money troubles? How do they act in those moments? The bad moments. It's truly just like a partnership.
It's just like a partnership. And when I brought her to my house, those were questions that I asked. I always ask about the hard. What happens if this don't work out? Or I want to know. I want to ask behavior questions. Like, what would you do in a situation like this? Like, you know what I mean? And really, a person's financial health is everything in a partnership. I may have good spending habits. She might not have good spending habits. Okay, and you talk about partnership.
And nothing's
sharing
off
bank
limits.
accounts.
It's not off limits. It may feel like intrusive, but truly, if you're talking about sharing, the most valuable asset you are ever going to have, then you need to be able to talk about money with this person, because money's going to come up. You're running a business.
Yeah, you should be able to ask for that person's credit score. Like, let me see your credit score.
Yep. Yeah, because they could be completely lying to you about what that looks like. So it's just, So, if you're listening and you're considering, like, I'm just going to go into partnership with my friend or something along those lines, could you guys just both be cleaning and refer each other for business first? Maybe do that. And let's see in a year from now, are they still around? Are you still around?
Exactly.
Right. Because you may not even want to do this kind of business anymore. Like,
and then you're stuck.
So, like, just on my intake on everything that you guys said was absolutely wonderful, and that is so true. Just from my perspective, just coming in, I didn't know what to expect. Just with I didn't even know this is what the end and goal was going to be. But as long as you stay true to yourself, to your core, and your true intentions on what it's supposed to be, I feel like you will make the right decision. And I relate things back to relationships all the time. You just think about, what type of partner are you looking for? You have to understand, don't just say, oh, when you're looking for a man or you're looking for a woman, you're not just going to say, I want a tall, dark, handsome. You're going to say attributes about that person. I want someone who's God-fearing. I want someone who knows about themselves and has vision, goals. Like, you are going to say different personality traits. You're going to talk about that person. Also, when it comes to family dynamics, it goes down the line of things because it goes deep, and I feel like that is something that you can look for in a partner as well. And you want to see them when they're upset. And that's most of all. Like, is this person going to take from you? Are they going to help contribute to, what you have? Because having a partner is detrimental if it's not the right frequency. That's the one thing I can tell you, because it's stressful, especially if you're a mom, if you're a sister, a best friend, because now that time is being taken away, and this person that you're partnering with, you're spending majority of your time with. So it's like, it can become like, I need to get out sometimes, and it can become overwhelming. So you want to make sure that the person that you're partnering with, this person is the right one. Like, seriously, because you claim.
And sometimes you don't know until you have to get to know that person. Right. You got to get to know their habits and, everything about them. Don't just partner with new people and you know nothing about their work ethics.
Yep.
Okay, so
if you've had a sweater longer than you've known them, perhaps wait a little bit longer.
This is for the people that are just starting out in business. Like, it's a little different when you have two people that have been in business for 10 years and they have two different expertise, right? So maybe you have a laundry company that you started, and maybe I have a cleaning company, and we want to partner with Airbnbs together or whatever.
Right.
Like, that's just a example. First thing come to mind. But the
dynamics are different. So it's like you're bringing two different industries together or two different mindsets together to try to. It still goes back to relationship.
We're in a partnership. It's not like a partnership on the LLC type of partnership. It's more so. He does the government contracts. Remember, I think I was talking to. Was it you? Or
we talked about government contracts.
Okay, it was. I know nothing about government contracts. Okay, nothing. Okay, but one thing I can do, if you sub it out to me, we can handle, getting the staff in it and, taking care of the day by day. We can do that. But when it comes to
the bidding, it's a challenge.
And the paperwork, it gives me anxiety. Just reading the paperwork along, I read the first couple of pages and I was like,
oh yeah,
too much. Okay, so I don't specialize in this, but I partnered with someone who does, and he understood every word. This is just what he does.
Yep.
He closes on government contracts. He loves this world. He lives for this world.
Yep.
Good. You know what? We might make a good partnership.
Yeah, the complementary skills.
Yeah. I'm good at what we're good at. You're good at what you're good at. He hates the feel.
Yep.
We love the feel. Yeah. So, we make a good partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that sometimes, I've mentioned in previous podcast episodes of sometimes that means you might butt heads a little bit. And that's good because it means you are considering other perspectives, because it's not always just our way or the highway. Mm-hmm. And even though we are the owners. And so at the end of the day, yes, we do have the final say, but for me, I take my management staff's opinions very seriously, because they're the ones in the day-to-day operations. And so it's very easy for me to just want to take every opportunity or push when they're like, whoa, we are not operationally ready for XYZ, or this is a problem. And so, or consider it from this angle. And I definitely can see things through rose-colored glasses, but one of the best things that having my managers with me is we look at it from all angles and the what ifs, as you mentioned, of what if this happens? And you really need to lay out all potential problems ahead of considering, especially big jobs of okay, our biggest account is a large government contract, and the process to get the background check approved is over 3 months long. So, okay, we can't just send somebody on our staff to fill in. So what are we going to do? And we really needed to spell out every single scenario of how are we going to handle this? How are we going to handle this? Especially when we're talking about evening work. It's are you going to go clean? Am I going to go clean? Because that's what I did in the beginning. And so I'd love to hear, obviously you guys are commercial, you are now doing residential as well. So can you just talk to me as how the business has evolved when it comes to services? Has there been experimenting with different types of jobs to figure out your niche? And they just posted a video of this crazy kitchen clean that they took on, and it was wild. And I never would have even bid it, because it was so, watching the video walkthrough, I was like, oh geez, I would never do that. It was scary. Kitchens are scary. We don't do restaurants. So I'd love to hear, how have things evolved over time? What kind of jobs have you taken that you are no longer ever going to take again?
Okay, yeah, like that kitchen job.
You're like, that one, and I take that again.
So I'm not afraid to venture out and try different things. That's really how you figure out what you like and what you don't like, what you want to tolerate, what you don't want to tolerate. And there is no good or bad industry. There's not a good or bad. But as far as the kitchen job went, they found us on Google, and I talked to the guy. We went to do the walkthrough. After we did the walkthrough, I felt like I didn't want to do it then, right? It was one of those situations where you go and you walk something and you don't want to, and you're like, oh, I don't think I want to send a bid. And we actually did not send him a bid. We didn't send the bid. He came after us for the bid. Persistent. So that's what made us send the bid. I was like, damn, he still didn't find nobody for that restaurant. So I sent in the bid. I told Tamika when we did the walkthrough, it was one of those situations where it's like, how you just don't want to take it on. It's not even we don't specialize in this, right? But we did it just to see. Sometimes we'll take a leap of faith. So I ended up bidding it $5,000. He ended up accepting it right away. He was like, sure. Can you start tomorrow? And I was like, damn.
Should have got those numbers up.
I should have said 7, because I said 7 in the beginning. It was that bad, okay? And because of that, I don't like the niche. I wouldn't take it again, but it was a great experience.
Good learning experience, for sure.
Right. If you can see on my YouTube page, the gentleman that I was going to subcontract the hoods out. I know nothing about hoods. So anything I know nothing about, I'm subcontracting. I'm going to find someone that's an expert. And he came in and he gave us a whole walkthrough, a mini training.
Okay. No, it was amazing. I was like, I need to take notes on this guy. We'll link the video in the show notes for sure, guys, their YouTube video, because it was really fascinating. And also for me, reiterated, I don't want to do kitchens. But if you are somebody watching and you want to get into more specialized things, it can be done. People are doing it. It just, the more specialized, the reason I tend to stray away from those types of things is because that means more training when it comes to cleaners. And so the again, that low barrier to entry, it's pretty darn easy to train a house cleaner or a business cleaner. Once we start getting into floor refinishing, carpet cleaning, kitchen cleaning, and that type of stuff, or even things like restoration, that a Serve Pro does or something like that. We always just reference that to our local Serve Pro. We have a good relationship where we kind of give each other business and refer to each other because even though it seems like, oh, maybe they're a competitor, they're not. They do what they do and we do what we do, but they're right next to each other. And those are really good opportunities to have collaborative relationships with local businesses. And you are complimenting and referring to each other's business, and make sure that they do good work. Obviously, don't just blindly refer. Go check them out online. But that's a really good way, especially in the beginning, to start getting some traction. Is find businesses that are in adjacent fields. So that could be landscaping companies, that could be window cleaners, carpet cleaners, if you don't offer that. And as long as you're not, competing, and sometimes even if they're a competitor, if you have that friendliness, it can be referring.
Yeah, exactly. And then we also, we went into a house, and this house was so beautiful. It had these beautiful chandeliers, and the lady was like, "Oh yes, and I need you to clean the chandeliers and these chandeliers." And I'm looking like a
like you look at it and embrace.
So we get in the car, and we're chandelier company. Call a chandelier company, and we got some bids in the chandelier. We didn't win that bid, but the thing that you have to watch out, you still have to watch out for, and it's really nothing you can do about it. When you partner with someone, like if they did take on the house, they can take on the whole bid if they are connected to other cleaning companies.
That's
you
true.
know what I mean? Like we've experienced something like that with the floor guy that we hired to come on a walkthrough with us. So he was doing walkthroughs with us and then going behind our back.
And bidding it to undercut you, basically.
And I'm like, oh, damn it, we had a deal. We were supposed to do the cleaning and you're handling the floors, but he would go behind our backs and
all's fair in love-worn business, as they say. And unfortunately, you will run into people who are cutthroat, and no matter how kind you are, it can sometimes be really discouraging. Actually, I would say it's one of the most discouraging parts of owning a cleaning company is people will take advantage of your good nature, whether that be employees, contractors, customers, other vendors, and it's so easy to make that make you say, screw this, I'm not doing this anymore because everybody's an asshole and I don't want to do this anymore.
I want to quit every year. It's always something, I'm telling you. Literally 3 days ago, I sent my daughter to do a house. Now, you know where I'm going at. So she does the house, and I think we charged the lady $400 for it. And it only took her 2 hours to do it. Right. So maybe we did overcharge a little bit. But, we did our Google, we looked at the house and everything. And, she did have pets and all that stuff. So it came up to $400. Anyway, after my daughter did the house, she calls me and she's like, "Mom, guess what?" And I'm like, "What?" She tried to take me. And I'm like, oh, kidding me? So I'm like, yeah. So I hope you're not mad or anything, but I did give her a quote and all that. And I'm like,
oh wow.
I mean, it's fine. That's my daughter, and she knows. I was trying to help her out anyway because I'm going to be leaving, and then she needs her own clients. But it's just the way it all happened, And not only that, but the lady also told her. She said, "I have a friend in Wilmington Island, and Tenacity cleans for them too. Maybe you can give them a bid."
Okay.
So I'm like, holy shit, you just all of my clients. Okay. So, but people would do that in this business. Be prepared. So if she wasn't my daughter and she didn't come tell me, imagine how many times that has happened behind your back.
And you're wondering where the client went, like,
and
why
you're wondering.
Never called you
and
back.
She said, "Well, we're on the phone, literally laughing about the whole thing. We're just like in tears laughing about it because she was like, I won't tell Miss Johnson, I won't tell Tamika, just give me a price, and I'll hire you as my personal cleaner, and blah 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 blah." Be prepared for the griminess in this game.
Absolutely. And that's where, building the relationships with either your contractors or your cleaners, and also having those client guidelines in place where, we've talked about that before. Actually, pretty much every guest has talked about this situation happening. So that I hope that tells you like, this is common. So don't let it break your heart when it happens. Kind of expect it and plan for it. And so that can look like for us, we have a $2,500 fee if a client tries to solicit our cleaner.
And she signed the freaking service agreement.
That's the crazy part. Mm-hmm. She really signed it.
That's why we were laughing about it. We're like,
lady, Yep.
They will sign these agreements and still try to backdoor you.
Yeah.
And luckily I want to help my daughter, and I don't mind because she does need some more accounts since we lost a lot of accounts in 2024, and we'll talk about the pains in 2024 next.
Yes.
But we lost a lot of accounts, and I'm trying to help her out, trying to help my daughter out. So good. Now she has 2 new clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like you guys are, they're moving to Atlanta, so it kind of makes a lot of sense. Going to do business there.
Yeah.
I mean, with Kitty, because she's going to mess things up. She likes to do this. She said, I want to knock anything out. Yeah.
She wants to be on video.
I know. Yeah, she's like, Mom, you're always on video. So, let's, I'd love to hear if you don't mind sharing. I mean, well, let's, what wins happen. Let's start with the good, and then we can go to the bad.
The good is, our company, every year since I started Tenacity Clean, our company has doubled in income. Just double. We grew. 2024, I don't know what the hell happened, but it was a year of hell for us. It was actually the first year that we went back in income, and we lost about 180. 180.
Compared to the previous year?
Yeah. Okay. Compared to the previous year. Yeah. And that was, to me, is like, but it's one thing that happened was going through a major depression, because it'll do it to you in business, So when you're depressed and you're not thinking clearly, so you make the worst decisions in the world when you are emotional, when you're going through whatever you may be going through. For one, your household needs to be together. Yeah. Okay, because if you and your spouse and your kids and everything, like if your household is in shambles, please believe, don't think about excelling in your cleaning company, okay? Get that together first.
It affects everything. And people who think that the home life doesn't, like that it's naive, because you need to have your home life together. And even, you'll see this in your staff too. Like if their home life is having problems, it's going to affect their work. They're human. We're human. And so, making sure that your foundation is strong, and that's easier said than done. As all of us listening can attest to. When shit's hitting the fan at home, it's just, you're trying to stay afloat.
Yeah, you're just trying to stay afloat, and then you don't feel like going to work. See, when we're a business owner, we're the CEO, and it's like when you grow a company to $500,000, it's like when I had a job, you can quit. Yep. You can quit when times get hard. You can walk off your job.
Or call in, and it's like, that's their problem.
You can call in. Look, I ain't coming to work today. You can do that. But when you grow a company and you have a staff and you have clients that you got contracts with, it's no walking away from anything. Yep. You must face this. You must face it. And it is what it is at the end of the day. So that was one of even when I didn't want to face stuff, I got to face it, So it's one of those type of situations, and I made poor decisions. I actually gave away a couple of clients. I gave away way too many clients. Okay.
Yeah. Just because you felt overwhelmed.
Yeah. It's overwhelming. It's just like when I had an effort moment, and when I woke up, I said, holy shit, why did you let me do that? Why did you let me do that? Look.
Hold on. I did try to stop you.
What the hell?
I tried.
And she was like, I tried to stop you, but I wasn't in the right mind. So, and then after that, we had a lot of commercial accounts we just weren't checking up on.
Quality. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. You can't get that comfortable. You get comfortable. You got workers, independent contractors out there cleaning these accounts. You subcontracting stuff out. Things can go you can think that everything is okay over there, right? And then my head is all over the place. I'm over here trying to get more clients, and we're on sales, and this is going to shits over here, and you ain't paying attention to it. Yeah. That's what's happening. So we lost like 5 accounts back to back, like just.
And was it all like similar contractors? Was it different, because you guys use mostly contractors for your commercial?
Yeah, it was different. Yep. Different contractors.
They were getting away with it, basically.
Yeah.
We even had a contractor.
We talked about that family and friend thing.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Again, we will say all of this, so please do as we say. Sometimes as we do.
Okay.
So
caption.
Some of our best clients, and then. For 2024, some of the clients, they left because they said we were too much.
Too much? What do you mean by that?
We were too high.
Oh, too high. Okay.
We were too high, and they were trying, like 2024. It seemed like everybody was trying to crunch those numbers. Yeah. And I respect their opinion, but I do and I don't.
Yeah.
Because it's like the building is big as hell, and you want people to do it for crumbs.
Yep.
So the people that are going to come in and deal with what we were dealing with, if they're doing it for less than what I was doing it for,
you don't want it. You don't want that account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my price is my price.
And it's such a balancing act, and it's easy to second guess yourself when you do lose a bid or whatever. You're like, oh, I guess I could have came down a little bit. It's like, no, because trust me, when you start doing that work and you start seeing how much work it is and all of the problems and the headaches of managing it, you are going to be kicking yourself and feel so resentful, not only to the account, but to yourself for making a poor decision in that area. So, anytime we've lost a bid, it's just like, okay, it wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be.
Yep.
It wasn't. And we just lost, and I was like, it was like this downward spiral, because I'm already going through something.
Yeah.
If I get another email like this, and then I gotta chat GPT some shit to say back to them, because I
don't even know how to handle it. Yeah. Thank goodness for AI. I've been talking about that with guests too, of how do I deal with this? Please teach me.
I wasn't emotionally ready to even handle all of the stuff that we had to handle. But
it's a
lot. We made it through. We made it through. But it's like in 23, I think we closed 23 out at 68, right? So we lost 180. So it put us back at around the 5.
Yeah.
And it's still, we still don't have to clean, but it's still like, ouch.
Yep.
It's still like, damn, we dropped the ball.
Yeah. It's just a lot that happens within business. Like, you can mentally think that you're there and you're like, you know what? Everything is on autopilot. I've got everything under control. And then wham, because that is such a true statement. Never get too comfortable, because there's so much that can happen. Like, it makes you want to look at your system. And people say, well, what goals do you have? Because people are good for New Year's resolutions and all that stuff. And to be honest with you, I'm just like, the heck with goals. Let's just find any loopholes that we have and fix them, because that is what's going to take us to the next level. And people don't understand that people may say, I want to add on more revenue. Let's get more clients. Wait a minute, because that may not be the case. Because if you have your back end not together, you're going to bring people into
more problems.
Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And having problems is not an issue. Having problems is actually good, because it shows you how you can become great. And I can't express it enough. Just being in business, it does a lot for you. Like, it shows you things and it opens up your eyes to things that you haven't seen before. And I am so appreciative just to be in the room with both of you guys. I'm like, I want to talk, but it makes me feel like double dutch. Like, just the boom, boom, boom. Like, just the.
Well, this is why our first interview that we did on their channel was 4 hours long.
It was 4 hours long. We could just go. Okay.
Yeah.
And Tamika's starting her own company.
Oh, you
Tenacity Clean. She's going to be a business owner. Okay. I'm all about empowering my surroundings. And are you excited?
Well, I am excited, but it's more so like this is a good business step for the business. Because like you said before, like just in case if anything was to happen, you still have something else. So it's more so new endeavors, you get to explore new things, new opportunities, meet new, have new connections with people. And I'm all about customer service, and a lot of people don't like residential, but it's all in who you are and who you bring onto your company. And it's just like a lot of people just bring people on to just fill those slots, but you have to hire for character. That is like the number one thing. And sometimes you can't hire someone who's just like you, but you want them to embody some of the character traits that you have, because it's like these people are going to represent you in the locations.
It's your name on it.
So and she's going to have all employees. It's going to be more personal.
That's exciting.
You can train your employees. And so it's really us learning both worlds. Even though we're coaches, you never stop learning. Okay, never stop learning. So we can literally go in on. She says she wants to do residential, have a staff of employees.
I said I don't want no contractors.
Well, and I mean, off of our conversation when we talked a few months ago, like, and me talking about like having employees, and it's like there's pros and cons to both. I will always be one to always have employees. That also has to do with my location in very rural area. But I do love, what's important to me and like what I take pride in is a good company culture and having a really close knit and like you said, like they're reflecting me in the field. So I need to make sure I actually like these people and do I think that they are going to do the right thing when nobody's watching? Because for us, integrity is one of our core values, which we, you can define in a lot of ways, but truly, what are you going to do if nobody's going to find out about it in that house? That's and even though we teach them like, hey, assume you're being recorded at all times because we've had enough nightmares with that too. But assume you're being recorded with everything you say and do in a house or a business, whatever. But really, at the end of the day, they know a lot of times they can get away with things that nobody's going to actually see.
Right.
So how do you impart them to go above and beyond and do it to the highest level? And it's a challenge, and you're going to go through a lot of people. And it's just how it is. And there are wonderful, good people out there. Anybody who says nobody wants to work anymore, like if you have that mentality, you can't be in this business. You can't be in any business, Frank. You go work for somebody else because it's not true. And how does that help you? How does that mindset help you if you're just already defeatist, you know? So it's like, I'm excited for you. So you're going to be serving Atlanta then or Savannah? What is the plan now?
Well,
we're looking at...
Go ahead. For Tenacity Clean, we're subcontracting work out to our students in Tenacity Academy.
That's amazing. Okay?
So that's how we're making both worlds talk to each other. I have students, and they're in different states and cities and states, and we hire cold callers to get us accounts in those states, and we'll be subcontracting. It's more so going to be more like a citywide type of model is what we're looking for in the future.
That's really cool.
That's what we're working on for Tenacity Clean, Tenacity Maids. Go ahead.
Yeah, I made a logo and everything. I was like, make sure you pick which one you like, because I don't know, like it's like when you find out, well, it's probably a bad analogy, but it's like when you find out you're getting ready to have a baby. You know what I'm saying? It's just like every aspect of it. It's like now you're like, yes, but you go through the stages. You're excited, but then you're like, wait a minute, how is it going to turn out? So what? It doesn't even matter. It's the fact of you're just getting out there, you're getting started, you having the right coaches around you to encourage you on everything that you need to do. So it's just like, just get out there and kick butt. Like what is the worst that can happen? So what if you make mistakes? You learn from your experiences and you just keep going. But I just know within Tenacity Maids, I wanted to be like just fulfillment. I want it to be hospitality. I want it to be like no other, just dedicating time. When we leave, we're going to leave a candle. We're going to leave some type of refresh, like spray. Like you're going to know Tenacity came to your house because it's going to be like an experience that you never went through. I'm going to actually check up on you. Like the clients now that we have in Tenacity Clean, I actually reach out to the clients. Like I have a very personable relationship. A lot of people don't do that. They're just looking for the transaction. transaction. But me, I'm looking for the transformation because I want people to grow, with us. Because I know pets' name, I know uncle's names, cousins' names. So I really want to see how you're feeling, what's going on, like what are your pain points? Because a lot of people problems are trust. They don't believe in inviting people into their home because some people might steal. They don't believe in hiring another cleaning company because what makes you different? It's just so much that goes into just starting this business. But I know that it will change a lot of people's lives. I want to be able to give people work because it's such a struggle just working right now. Finding consistent work. A lot of people that I've talked to, even myself coming from a 9-to-5, they felt unvalued because I didn't feel valued as a worker. I felt like someone was just telling me, go do this, go do that. And then you don't even recognize me for what I do. And then you hire from the outside for a position that the person was already there that could have fulfilled it. So I'm more so, we're not going to hire from the outside. We're hiring from the inside, and we're going to go about development, show you different types of skills. We don't just want you to feel like this is it for you. Like you can exceed, and that's where Tenacity Academy comes in at for people who want to start their own cleaning business and learn the aspects of it, because it's like peeling back the layers of an onion, dude. Like it's just so much that you have to go through just dealing with business.
That's the beauty of growing a business from the ground up, is the intervention, the fact that you can do whatever as long as you are abiding by the law.
That's true.
You can be as creative as you want to be with your baby. You can. That's the beautiful part. We were just in the movie theaters the day before yesterday, and a commercial came up, and I was like, And after the second local commercial came up, I got my phone like this. How the hell you get a commercial to come up locally in the movie theater? Like literally, we're always thinking outside the box. Like I'm literally thinking like, well, what if somebody's sitting here and my commercial comes up? What if they see Tenacity Clean at the movie theater? So we reached out to them, and we're looking to do a business.
That's really creative.
It's different. It's different, but that's the beauty of growing a business from the ground up. You can be as creative. There are no rules. There's no, oh no, you have to do. No, you can be as creative
as you want.
And truly being a student of the game and never letting pride, ego, anything like that get in the way, remaining humble. And I know, that's such a cliched thing to say, but you should never, you should never be so proud as to not be always learning. And even if you do reach like, quote unquote, a level of success, it's like, don't get comfortable, as you guys said, because that's when things start to fall through the cracks because you're comfortable. And I remember I had that conversation with my managers a few months ago when it came to nothing to do with quality, but more so being cavalier when we did when we lost a client, or being a little like, oh, we'll just replace them. Replace them. Like, because honestly, that's always how it's been. I'm just like, we've never struggled with leads. That's not the issues we've typically had. And so I was like, we cannot be so cocky to think that this may someday not be a problem. And so like saying like, oh, it's not a big deal because, like we don't like them anyway, or whatever the reason is that the client canceled, just remaining student of the game and never ever getting comfortable because somebody could start up tomorrow and take all your business, or all your staff could leave, or all of the things that could happen. And obviously you shift and you change. I was just getting my hair done yesterday, and my hairstylist, her entire salon walked out on her, and she had to close her whole salon.
What was the reason for all that?
Well, her longest stylist, who'd been with her for 7 years, and she had paid for for a hairstylist you have to go through the apprenticeship, and there's a lot of money that goes into training, or getting somebody a stylist to like be able to work by themselves basically in your salon. So she'd paid for everybody's all of that stuff, and her longest, most loyal stylist was basically creating a little bit of a mutiny, and like, hey, come with me, she's doing this, and lying and saying all of these things. And so they all went with her. Damn. And so she had to sell her salon space. She's now kind of not even starting over. I would say she's changing past, because she's like, you know what? Like, this has been the stress relief that has come from now. She is just owner operator. She's got a chair, and, really switching gears. And there's a lot of grief in that loss for sure for her, and that betrayal, frankly.
Oh, yeah.
But, these types of things can and do happen. They happen. And so don't just dismiss, your feelings about it, but you can't stay in that hole. You can't. You got to pull yourself out of the hole. Because some of the worst things that happened in my business, they were devastating. And especially when it came to somebody you're close to, relationships, had managers that are no longer managers, but where yes, like you too, Brutus. This is a stab in the back. After all I've done for you.
We've had people that we literally gave accounts to, and then they went behind our back and tried to steal more accounts. Like, girl, we were helping you. This is the business. But we've grown to learn that this is the nature of the cleaning industry. It's really the nature of business. And it's not just our industry. It's every industry. It's the nature of business. Because I hear these stories with business owners in different niches all the time. Just like you say with the salon person, it happens to us.
Yeah, that's why I tell people, a lot of the times, and I'm going to say this, and hopefully it doesn't go over no one's head, but just in business itself, you want to get attached to the bus. You don't want to get attached to the seat. Because if you are attached to the bus, you're going to know that bus is going to actually still keep going. You don't know where it may be leading you to. And as your seat will change, because you might be a passenger, you might be the driver, you may go here, you may go there. So it's just things that may happen. And don't look at everything like it's a bad thing that happens. That may have been the blessing in disguise that needed to happen.
Oh, every time. It actually is always the blessing. It feels like.
And it's a story of resilience when it comes to business owners. When you look at the high performing, I like to study the people there. I'm like, how the hell did you get way up there?
Stuck with it?
Yeah. You had to go through some stuff. And it's a level with every level that you're at, you got to fight something to get to another level.
Oh my God.
Then you got to fight something to get to another level. This is what I'm learning about business, about the resilience part, and only the strong really survive.
That's so true.
Cream, goes to the top, and I think that's why, us sharing our failures and struggles and setbacks. I know that may make you question our abilities potentially, because I know sometimes I feel nervous about sharing my mistakes because it feels very vulnerable.
And now
it's
I used to feel vulnerable. I mean, not vulnerable. I used to feel scared to share my mistakes until I noticed that everybody going through some shit.
As soon as you say it, you get a million people saying, "Oh, I got a story just like it," and that's why it's being vulnerable and sharing these types of things. It's going to help other people. And again, we're all learning, and that's why I appreciate your guys' candidness and sharing that, and it just encouraged me to continue to do so. Just I talked about getting a divorce on your guys' podcast and how big of a struggle that was for the business. And so I'm just really leaning into sharing the shit show that is business ownership, and it's all smoke and mirrors as things seem like they just were easy. And obviously to the customer, everything is perfect. We are the best, and you will never get anything better, and we've never made a mistake ever. So that's what we want the customer to think. But to our fellow owners who are watching right now, trust us. It has not been easy, and no, it's not easy for you guys. I know you're going through struggles, and you may be like, they don't understand. I'm dealing with this. Listen, our problems are pretty universal. They really are. Quality issues, losing accounts because of quality. Been there, done that.
Right.
I've had that happen. We've had it happen this year, even though I tout how good our quality is. Some shit slips through the cracks sometimes, and you don't know where that customer's tolerance level is. It may be you got one shot, one opportunity,
and that's it.
To lose yourself in the moment.
Oh my gosh, that is so true.
So you just don't know where their limit is going to be and how many chances you have, because for them, and you also don't know, is this the straw that breaks the camel's back? If they weren't telling you things, and then you messed up one more time, and they're like, screw you.
The beauty in it is it gives you a chance to fix it, and you learn from it. So that's what makes you better.
Yeah,
that's what I've gotten out of 2024, because I didn't let it beat us. You know, there was a time where we had a meeting and I was like, okay, let's go over all the problems. Let's find solutions. This can never, ever happen again. Ever. Okay. So we're going to write it down. We're going to write out the solutions to each problem. And we literally have a solutions path where we're writing out every solution and how we're going to fix it and how it's never going to happen again. So even if that means we going back to service agreements and make sure you put it in this service agreement, because it wasn't in the one in 2024, but in this 2025 service agreements, we had to remix all of them.
Yeah.
You learn something every year different about your niche.
And it's like, even though I think it's so hard when you're in the trenches, or you're just, when you are in the moment you're in right now, like, you don't think about the fact that in 2 years this is just a blip on the radar, and this is just a stepping stone. So sometimes I like to step back and think, okay, put myself back in the shoes of when I was going through some terrible times in the business, and now I look back and I almost just laugh at the like, it's like, yeah, that happened, and I literally say, I'm glad that happened. Glad that happened. Look what I learned. Look how I improved the business because of that horrific situation. And so I know it's so hard in the moment when you are dealing with bad stuff. You're getting quality control. You're getting accused of stealing. You can't get employees. They're walking off the job. You can't get any jobs. Like, all of the things that we deal with. Or, you know, I've had consulting clients who have gone they've made some poor financial decisions, and they are so depressed about it, and they're like, and it's just like, no, we need to go into action. We it is time to take action, and you're going to beat this. And in 2 years, you're going to look back and say, that made me so strong because I stuck with it. And that's where you guys are right now. It's like in 2 years, you're going to be like, oh, you remember when that happened?
And that's why it's important to keep a supportive community around you, because if you're surrounded by negative people and you already getting hit with negative thoughts, like, oh, I'm a bad business owner, oh, I did this wrong, I did that wrong, like every negative thought that you could think of,
we think about ourselves,
right? And it's important for you to have people like Tamika, I could vouch for it. She's always picking me up. She's like, girl, get up. No, we're going to fight this. Like, you need those people around you to push you to the next level. And you may need to do that. Listen, this right here this can be devastating to a business owner.
Very much so.
Being addicted to the strolling and anything like this device was made to get our attention, right? So you have to learn how to do social media detox. So I do social media detox. Like, there are days where it's no social media, okay, at all. Don't get drifted by what's going on in the world.
That's such a good tip. Oh my gosh.
It's horrible right now in Las Vegas with the fire. I see another freaking fire come up, and then it does something to you emotionally. Because you're like, oh, those people.
I know. Like, I woke up yesterday, to a story from LA of like this guy who he couldn't find his dogs, and he's sobbing, I'm sobbing, and so you are letting the outside world affect your inner world. So don't pick up your effing phone as soon as you wake up. I know it feels like you have to. Take care of yourself. That means get up a little earlier. So you got 15 minutes of quiet before the chaos. Because that's what it is. Every morning there's chaos, you know, and just expect it. That's what it is. That's what we're doing in the morning.
That's what it is. One thing I have learned just being in business, like, it's not going to be perfect, you guys. Like, just think about Apple, Google, Chick-fil-A, all these major brands. I don't care. Just think about all of them. They all started at a small point.
In a garage.
And, you know, and then they all had to advance. And do you not think that everybody went through problems? I mean, people go through name changes all the time. You may not know it, but on the back end, it may be something else going on. It may look like everything is perfect, but you just never know people's journey of what they had to go through. It's just the outcome. So I tell people all the time, never look at a person's ending like it's supposed to be your beginning, because your journey is your journey, and that's your testimony that you are supposed to say on your own. It's going to take time. Like, for crying out loud, we signed up to be a business owner. So do you think that's supposed to be easy?
Like imagine growing Apple from the LLC. Okay, just imagine like all of the things that he has to go through to build that company to where it's at right now.
Right.
Like, it's not going to happen overnight.
And, and most of usually your first business oftentimes fails, you know, and so when you look at successful business owners and you read their great stories and you know, they're famous for being incredibly successful business owners, that is almost always not their first business.
Yeah.
Right.
They went through failures. And so you think if they had stopped, think about that what was supposed to exist never would have.
Right.
And that there is a reason, statistically speaking, almost every business owner is going to fail. Like it's hard. So what you guys are attempting to do here, it's not easy. And so just accept that, and that's what we're signing up for. And that means we are going to be faced with challenges that people who do just work for other people, which, you know, can be a wonderful thing. Obviously, that's what that's what we all have done, you know, so it's not like we're like better or anything like that. It's just, it's a choice. So, but we are going to face things that they never are going to face, but we need to accept the fact that we signed up for this, and that means that we are going to face struggles that they are not going to, but that means because our reward is potentially a lot greater than their reward ever.
There you go.
You know?
That's right. That's right.
Even just the control of like not, you know, like I get to control, you know, the 80 hours of work that I did back then, like a week or whatever. Like
that's the beauty of it. And I set my own schedule. That's the beauty of it. You know, even though we lost accounts, I had to take into consideration that, you know, you still don't have to get up and go clean anything, Katrina. Like, operate in gratitude. Have a gratitude. Be thankful for a little minute. Because sometimes I can be complaining like, I should be this, I should be that. And it's like,
it can always be worse.
Yeah. It could be worse than what it is.
Right.
Okay? It could be way worse than what it is. You still don't have to get up and physically clean. You could, I could still run my business in my home.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to start thinking about all of the gratitude moments. Like, hey, you still got this. You still got this going on over here. You still got this. Just calm down, do some self-development.
I was just going to say that,
You know, we're big on that.
Yeah.
You know, the self-development part and working on me and working on getting that fire. You know, as a CEO, you need that fire to get out here and do interviews, to get out here and do candid cleaning conversations and survive in the cleaning industry. You need that fire. But sometimes that fire, we don't always have that fire.
Now you gotta fake the fire. And
we don't always have that fire.
Yeah.
So every time we get on YouTube and I go right back to sleep, like, chop.
Like I woke up, like I know I'm getting a cold. I felt like shit yesterday, but it's like I'm here and I'm enjoying this, and it's like you just turn it on because like it's what you do. It's what you have to do. And honestly, like once it's the whole, you know, fake it till you make it thing. I typically, once I start going in whatever I'm, you know, faking, then all of a sudden I'm feeling good. You know, like I feel great now. Like maybe I'll take a nap after this. I don't know.
The one thing I do want to ask you, like Steph, like for real. Yeah. I know with us, we're always pouring into people, and it's like who pours into us? So who pours into you, Steph? Like, yeah,
that's a good question. I have really great friends. My managers honestly are some of my best friends, and I know that they say like don't, you know, mix that. We weren't friends before, but we have become so close, and they're wonderful people. My best friend back in Wisconsin, she is wonderful. Maddie, she just had beautiful twin baby boys. They're 6 months old. And so, even though I'm, you know, from my family is all out there. And honestly, it's just been, this community has been one. Obviously my boyfriend goes without saying, of course, but the community online, like literally I just go to the Zen Maid Mastermind, or I go watch, like it makes me feel less alone. But yeah, honestly, I don't have a lot of like a big network, I would say, of close, you know, and I've lots of family turmoil in the past month, honestly. So not really able to rely on my family at all now. So you create your family. Create your family.
Right. And the reason why I said that is because just entrepreneurship, it is so hard because you face it alone sometimes, and people don't really understand like the aspects of your mindset, because it can really take you to a different place.
Oh yeah.
You understand when you're battling everybody, and it's like somebody might be able to complain about what they're going through, and then it's like, dude, if you really knew what I was going through, like somebody could come to you and say, man, I need $10 for gas. If you had my problems of a $50,000 payroll, like, do you understand? Like, all you have to do is just change your mindset and do something different. Look at your finances. It may not be a financial problem. It might just be a personal problem because of your habits. You understand? Like, and we have to be here for a lot of people. And we talk to people every day because we do like a morning meetup. 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And so many people, they come in. A lot of people are just trying to find a home. They're trying to find their own tribe because whoever they're around, it's not there. And so what I feel people's energy, and you know how I felt your energy when you came, like it's just so much. And I was just wondering, like, who pours into Steph?
Yeah. So honestly, it's a lot of myself of like the whole, you can't, and this sounds terrible, but truly like, you are the only person that you will forever be able to depend on.
That's true.
And so like I've really focused on like how would I show myself love and respect and taking care of myself, those types of things. And sometimes it is very challenging. And honestly, like I get so much joy from like the service aspect of it and like the being a great boss and all of those things. And sometimes that is like a thankless job, but honestly, I have very grateful staff and a good team. And so, yeah, honestly, like this just, again, candidly, this past month has been like one of the like worst months of my life because of personal things. And so I have gotten a lot of strength just from like my friends at ZenMade and pouring into work, and that like work, I know that sounds like possibly toxic, but it's been my lifeline. Like it's been my lifeline when everything else has, not everything, but things have been going very down a difficult path for me in my personal life. And so I can take solstice in the fact that like I have a freaking awesome business. I have like, I mean, it's true. Like, yeah, I have so much to be grateful for. And that doesn't mean that you discount your struggles and challenges, but I just try to keep in mind, like I'm a very, very blessed person, and it could be worse. It could always be
worse. That was my biggest lesson for 2024, man. Like, listen, look how far you came. Like, you came from the project. Like, I literally had to like food stamps, welfare. Like, when I first started my business, I was a single mom with 5 kids. Three of my children, they're grown and gone, but I still got 2, an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old that live with me. But I got to take care of them. I have to take care of my mom, my uncle. Like, I'm thinking about everything that I've done throughout the years. And I'm like, why am I so hard on myself? I'm always hard on me. Like, why the hell am I so hard? Like, you came a long way. Like, literally, be grateful, be thankful for everything that you put together. It's going to get better. You know, pick yourself up. You got to have those conversations with yourself and have strong people in your corner, like somebody to pour into you, especially when you become a coach and all you're doing is pouring into people all day.
And it truly is a balancing act of, you know, like being hard on yourself. I would say like I would say there's a difference between being hard on yourself and having really high expectations for yourself. I have super high expectations for myself, and I get angry when I don't hit those high expectations, and that's where the like being hard on yourself of like you said, take a step back. And I've talked about that before. I've absolutely taken for granted like all like the craziness that has been like my journey of Serene Clean, and taking a step back and saying, holy crap, look at what has happened. And it almost feels like it's happened to me. I didn't do it. And just really owning like you did this, like everybody listening, you did this. You put in the work, and you guys put in the work, and that is something to be proud of. Is what we've done. And so I just encourage everybody listening of like, hey, take a step back. Look at what you've done. And you know, David Goggins, he is like, if you don't know who that is, definitely.
I love him.
I love David. But I remember in his first book, Can't Hurt Me, he talks about having a cookie jar. And what he means by having a cookie jar is you need to have accomplishments and things that you have done in your life that you are proud of, so that when you are going through the next challenge and you're struggling, you reach into that cookie jar and say, I did this. And honestly, when you talk about like who pours into me, I've got this cookie jar that said of all of what Stephanie has done and gone through and overcome.
Right.
And I just pull from that and say, Stephanie, you are a strong person.
Yeah.
You're a strong person. Look what you went through. Look at what you did. And that's not to say there hasn't been, you know, a lot of people along the path that have been right there with me, you know, my staff, as I say, friends, partner thing, everything. Like I've had a lot of great people, but at the end of the day, you are fully in control of
That's right.
your
Absolutely.
life.
That's
You know?
right.
Absolutely.
You're in full control of your life. So entrepreneurship is not meant to be easy. That's why we try to avoid doing the commercials on the beach and in the Lamborghinis and, you know, like the lifestyle commercials that you see. You know,
I don't like that.
We try to shy away from
it's out of touch, it feels like, because when you're talking to people who, I mean, I get it, it's like aspirational, but it's like, what I like people to hear is like, hey, like, we're regular people. You know, and that makes it so if we can do it, you can do it.
Because it damn sure don't happen that fast. Okay. If do not, I don't want. That's the real thing that I want people to get out of this is that anybody can do it. You know, anybody can literally get a LLC, EIN, BOI, and business license, and boom, you're a business owner. Which I actually thought that's kind of spooky, because when I have a felony on my background, and back in 2018, I just remember it being really hard for me to find a job. I couldn't find a job to save my life at one point, you know, making $8 and $9 an hour, but I could be a business owner. I just couldn't believe it. You know,
well, and it's so funny. Yesterday I interviewed Vanessa Higgins, and she was telling me about a company that only hires like felons for clean and like giving job opportunities to people who made a mistake or whatever the situation was, were younger, and now they're being punished for the rest of their life because they can't support their family because they can't get a job. That's, you know, it's just
not like they don't even dig deep into what the situation is. If it says whatever,
they throw you out.
They just kind of throw you out, and that's what I dealt with like all my life, you know, and that's really what led me to getting cleaning jobs, because those were the only type of jobs I could get. Those were the only type of people that would hire me was cleaning companies. So what I did back then was I said, you know what? I remember my last interview. I was in the mall and I was like pouring in tears, crying. And the guy was interviewing me. And it was a situation where I knew I had the job because I sold myself to him. I'm really good at talking, you know, so I sold myself to him and he wanted to hire me. And he even took me in the back and showed me, you know, how to clock in. So I was like, I got this job. I know I got this job. It's right by my house. I'm excited, right? So he said, I'm going to give you a call. He never called me. So on Friday, I went back to the mall and I'm like, hold up now. I know I got this job. Like, well, I know I aced that interview. So when I saw him, I went like this, like, hey. What the heck? And he said, come here. And I was like, I know he's not going to say what I think he's going to say. Yeah. So he said, sit down. So I sat down and he was like, well, you got something on your background. And my tears just started coming down because I'm like, are you serious?
Like, I can do this job.
Are you kidding me? And he was like, yeah, you know, this is the mall and, you know, they have certain procedures.
It's the mall. Like this isn't the White House.
Right. So I'm literally it was at that point where I said, okay, when he advised me to get a job, at the warehouse, because he said warehouse will take anybody. And then I ended up finding a job at the Lexus dealership. I was a janitor. And I said, I will not let this moment beat me. I will not let this situation beat me because I'm not a bad person. No, you know, I literally, I carried a weapon without a license. Big fucking deal. Okay. But, you know, people don't know. They just see.
Yeah, you see felon and you're like, oh, she must be this.
She must be. Yeah.
Even hearing that, I'm just like, holy crap. And that is holding you back from getting jobs.
That was holding me back. So I'm like, I won't let this moment beat me. I said, I'm going to get a job at whatever job it is, whoever hires me, I'm going to look at it like it's a trade. Yeah. I'm going to look at that job like it's a trade, like they're going to pay me $8 and $9 an hour to learn on the job. Yeah, like an apprenticeship. That's what I'm gonna look at it like. So every job that I would get, I had 3 jobs. This is when I told a story about me having 3 jobs. I got a job as a housekeeper. I was working in an Lexus dealership, and then I worked at another little janitorial thing. 3 jobs. I made $600 a week. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I said, okay, damn, because I'm working from sun up to sundown. I have no more time. Yep. And this is all I am making, $600 a week. I have 5 kids. I got a family to take care of. No, Lord, something got to give, right? So I started to learn and take in how long is it taking me to clean this account? What type of supplies am I using on this account? What type of scheduler is he using? We didn't have ZenMaid back then, but we got ZenMaid now. But I'm like, listen, I'm really holding in on what it takes to be a business owner, because I knew at that moment that's what I was going to be. I'm going to be a cleaning business owner. It was at that moment when I was going through that. I'm like, I'm going to be a cleaning business owner. That's what I'm going to be. And my last job, I think my very last job, I was a caregiver. Right after that, I got a little caregiving job at night, and I would take care of this lady. It was an overnight position, but by the time I had already started my business and everything, right? So I'm working my business and taking care of, doing the caregiving thing overnight. And when she passed away, by the time she passed away, my business was making enough for me to just do that, for the long haul.
But that story, I mean, that is so similar to it. I know a lot of people's stories when it comes to when you're starting. It's not like you're just doing that for most of us. Like we're working other things too, because we can't live off of the cleaning business. And so it's very unreasonable. Again, it like the whole overnight success concept of like for me, things grew really fast, but that I was still, had the full-time job, was doing the part-time, was cleaning nights and weekends. Like, so it's just, just keep that in mind, that when you see something online or see somebody promise something, really look at like how much do they share? How vulnerable do they share their struggles? And that's why I appreciate you guys of doing, and I try to do the same, of sharing with you guys. It's not all been peaches and cream, even though we're in Georgia.
Yes. So there are some highlight moments, you guys. We don't want to make y'all not want to be business owners, but there are pros and cons with every business, is what we're saying. There are pros and cons, but the message that I want people to get out of it is the resilience. You're going to go through some shit. Dust yourself off. Try it again. Get better. Look at the solutions. Look at what you can do to get better. What can you do to get better? That's just my thing. What can we do to get better in business? And that's it.
I look at it like the different seasons, like that we have in the world. Like we have summer, we have fall, we have winter. It's just everything that we have. And just in business, you're going to go through different seasons. This season, you might be flourishing. So many customers coming in. The next season, you may not be so great. The next season, it might be a little wobbly. The next season, it'll be a drought. Like you just never know, because it's inevitable. Like you don't know what you're going to experience. So just understand that you're going to go through seasons, because it's business. Like it's just supposed to happen, and just understand what you're going through is necessary to take you to that next level. Don't look at like a failure is a fallback. It's actually a come up, because now you get to see a problem and how to solve it. And that's what we do for our clients every day. We have to go to our clients and we have to figure out their problem, because they may be saying that it's one thing, but it's up to us. That just made me think about a doctor. So we have to be a doctor, right? To be able to diagnose them with their issues and their problems that they're experiencing. And they're going to feel so much better and be like, wow, you know what? This is not just cleaning. This is like therapy. Like we actually are changing people's lives. Like seriously, we are. Because it's like, have you ever heard that stating, you can't think in chaos, you can't think in clutter, but it's like the transition that we do for people when we're cleaning, we're talking to people. We're actually getting to know you, because we want to know what is the issue. And one thing I can say that we do is we do cleaning for a reason.
Same. Yeah.
You know,
cleaning for a reason. Yep.
And it's just like, people be like, you clean for free? Yeah. Like, yeah, literally, because it's like our way of giving back. And the stories I've heard from the patients, it's just like, really? Like, you don't have nobody? Like, you would think that people would have people, but I'm not going to carry on with that. But it's just so much that just goes into business, and understand that you're going to go through seasons, and it's meant to happen, but you're not going to stay there. It's like having a common cold. Do you think you're going to keep the cold forever? It's going to subside. It's going to go away. So just understand it's temporary. How you feel, what you're going through is temporary. As long as you have good intentions, you know the outcome that you want to have, you have good people that is around you that can pour into you. Join a podcast, you know, join a community, talk to people. And I know that sometimes people want to be in this shell, and they're like, well, what if I sound crazy? What if I say the wrong thing? What if they don't like me? So what? That's what makes you different. You understand? I don't want to be like nobody else. I love being me because I'm different. And that's what you have to do for yourself. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings me to, you know, obviously you guys have a wonderful online community. You have coaching programs, and we're doing in-person meetups and events. So I'd love to hear about the next one, which I may be having something to do with.
We actually, our next event is going to be January 25th. It's going to be here in Savannah, Georgia. It's actually going to be in Pooler at the Aloft Hotel. And it's a cleaning business masterclass workshop where we're going to be going over how to grow your cleaning company. It's basically how to get started. All of the meat and potato stuff that we don't really talk about on YouTube. We usually cover it at workshop, and it's a 7-hour workshop. It's very intense. I've had some people come because they're interested in our world and they want to start a business. And by the time that we get finished going through all of the slides and everything, they're like, I don't know if I want to be a business owner.
But it's good. That's great to get that clarity.
I'm like,
I've had conversations with people who hire me for a consulting call, and they're like, they're thinking about this, and they're like, thank you so much for the call. You have explained exactly, I don't want to do this. And that's a beautiful thing to say them before. You know?
That's one of the things, and it comes to, like, when you do those discovery calls, like, we don't try to sell. It's not a selling thing. If this is something that you really don't want to do, by gosh, I'm thankful to tell you that you don't have to do it. I'm not trying to convince you that, because I feel like certain people, they're not meant to be business owners.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
Well, most people are. I would argue. You know, and I shouldn't have to talk you into owning
right.
Like, you should be the driving force. If you need to constantly, like, have other people encouraging you, or that this is what you should be doing, it probably isn't, because it needs to come from here. You need to truly love it. That's what Chris said in the interview I did the other day with him. He's like, you need to love this. Like, it needs to be for you, because if it's not, it's too hard.
That's why you can't push business on anybody. I used to try to push business on my kids. Because I'm like, you need to be an entrepreneur. You need to be an entrepreneur. Ownership. But then I slowly had to realize they have to come around to it. Like, I can't push them into doing anything. And 2 of them actually did come around to, like, okay, I get what you're saying now, Mom. I get what you're saying now. But it took them having to go out there, get a job, get mad, come back, work for me, go get a job, get mad, come back, work for me. And I'm like, you see the difference? Every time you go there and you come here, you see the difference, and they start seeing the difference. And I'm like, listen, this is truly, my opinion, the way out. Ownership. This is it right here. Okay. But I understand if you're not built for it. Everybody's not built for this game. I get it. I get it. And if you're not, guess what? If I wasn't built for entrepreneurship, I would be an independent contractor working for somebody.
Having having a boss, and like, I honestly, if something ever happened to Serene Clean, I could physically not work for another person. I'm so used to being the boss. Like, you didn't tell me what to do.
I know.
I think a much better entrepreneur.
Just work for yourself. If you don't want to handle staff and you don't want to handle all these 1099s and payroll and blah, 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 work for yourself. And that is, that's one of the the things that I told my best friend. She came to one of my workshops and she was like, oh, hell no. I'm not doing all this. I would rather be an independent contractor. I said,
that's perfect. And that's a perfect kind of a segue of almost like an owner-operator of like a semi.
Don't try to step into, these are some big shoes that we have to fill. You have to have, we tell the stories about resilience. We tell the stories about loving what you do as well. We have a passion for what we do. Now, I don't like cleaning toilets, but it's just, the fact that
we're helping people.
Yeah, we're helping people, and you're a business owner. This is your company. This is something that you create.
There's nothing like it. There truly is nothing like it. Of like, and it's what I'm most like. Yeah, it's my life's work. Right. Truly. It's like, this is like,
it's exciting to me. It's exciting to me, but it might not be to the average person. It may not be. You can't just look at a YouTube video and be like,
maybe I should do that. Yeah.
Maybe I should, you can do it, but if you don't really have any type of desire or what's driving you to get up every morning and pass out flyers? Yep. Like, what's going to be the fire that drives you to keep showing up?
And honestly, it's like, okay, clearly we're talking about money here, but like, that is almost the side effect of like growing to be the person who successfully operates and owns a business. That, like, it is priceless. Like, I feel so competent, and like that, like, yes, it's changed me as a woman 100%. Because I know what I'm capable of.
Absolutely.
And money can't buy that. It's just like, it's like being, physically active or like you can't buy, I guess you can buy plastic surgery, but like for the most part, for most of us,
the thing is, you're not going to get the money up front though in the beginning. So that's why you got to have some sort of care for it, because it's not, the money's not going to come right away.
Gratification, for sure.
It's just like starting a YouTube channel. I didn't see my first check off of YouTube until a year after I had put in the work in all the videos. That's when I got my first YouTube check. But why did I keep showing up on YouTube? I enjoyed showing up on YouTube. Exactly. Like there was a passion for it. There was some sort of
I was making videos in the mastermind, the Zen Made Mastermind for years, and it's not like I made any money from that. I enjoyed sharing my situations and helping. Like I got the joy came out of helping others truly and connecting over shared experiences. And so it needs to be something outside of money. Money will come if you stick to it long enough and you do the right things. It's going to come. But the person that you become to get to that point, like that's where that richness comes in, So like we're talking about, being filthy rich cleaners. It's like, when I say rich, it doesn't mean just money. Really, like that's kind of at this point beside the point. And again, that's a privileged place to be. But it's like the meaning, the purpose, the drive, and the personal growth has truly been wonderful. So, well, we've been on probably super long time. But I mean, again, as we all know, I could talk to you ladies for hours.
But we were talking about the workshop, and then me and you have a workshop coming up in March. I believe it's March 29th that we'll be doing, and that's going to be based on operations. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
We're moving to Atlanta. We're moving to Atlanta, Georgia. I can't believe. I've been in Savannah all my life. I don't know how long. How long have you been here?
2 years.
2 years. I've been here forever. Okay, and I've been wanting to leave for a long time, and I got my opportunity. My brother owns real estate in Atlanta, and the market is sky high right now, so he's giving me a deal, and it's an offer I just can't refuse.
And it's working out. The path you're supposed to be on.
And then I always wanted to go to Atlanta, so let's go. Let's do it.
I'm sorry, I keep looking at this book, and that goes with this conversation so well.
Which one?
Set boundaries and find boundaries.
Oh, it's a great book. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so huge on books and stuff like that.
Me too.
It just kind of struck me with everything we have been talking about, and it's just like, you guys, you can set boundaries and find peace. Like you can do that. This whole thing is everything, and it's just the transformation that you can help people to make It is everything. Like, you could think about your workers. Like, when you know that you see your workers on a certain path and you see them now, they're on a different path because of something that you are encouraging them to do. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, this is more than just business. This is like, I don't want to say ministry, but it's something close to it. Like, you're really
pouring into people and helping them transform their lives for the better, as you know, and that's what being a great employer can do. Like, and we've all had horrible bosses, but do we, you know, remembering the great ones and what they've done for us. Or same with teachers, you know, wonderful teachers that were in our lives. Obviously there was a lot of shitty ones, but it's like the good ones stood out of those who believed in you.
Right.
And so sometimes, you know, you are that belief for that person, that employee. And so because we were confident in them and we knew what they can accomplish, and that doesn't mean let them get away with stuff. It means have super high standards because you know what they're capable of, and you push them. You push them to that capacity, and then all of a sudden they start to believe in themselves because you believed in them. And that means, having high expectations because you know they can do it. And they're gonna turn out for the better for it, you know.
And see, that is how you keep A players, because they know that they can't go over here and get what you gave them. That had nothing to do with money.
Yes. 100%. That's why they say it's the workplace culture. I mean, you can throw money at people, but if you're shitty to them or they hate showing up every day, they're going to leave, or they're not gonna. And that's like, you know, companies that have happy employees, you know, because of how they treat you, you know, and so that means something. And if it's all of them, where it's like my whole crew, Serene Clean, they all show up and they love their job and blah blah blah. It's like, you know, that's not by accident. You know, that didn't just happen.
You gotta watch eating at places where the employees don't even want to be to work.
Okay.
I don't want you making my food and you don't want to be to work today.
And taking pride, and it's like they're like, we can take pride in anything, and especially like the whole cleaning, and I talk about this in every episode of people look down on people look down on our industry, and that is our job to change that and say this is a skill, and if you can do simple things to excellent levels, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to do the simple things to perfection. And that's why, you know, people hire us. Is, you know, cleaning is a simple thing, but when you do it so well, like, that's
and it's not easy to do it so well either. Like, that's when people say, the cleaning industry is oversaturated. It's just too many people. People are starting cleaning businesses every day. Yeah.
Sure they are. Yeah.
But they're not great.
Anybody can start a cleaning company, but trust me and believe.
I pretty much pay no mind to it. It's like, we'll see. And it's not easy. We focus internally of like, you know, you should be cognizant of your competition and what your marketplace is like in your area. But it's like, I'm not going to go look at them. All I'm going to do is focus on how can we be the best that we can possibly be. Right. Because me staring at them isn't going to change anything in Serene Clean. So it's like, just stay in your lane, put the blinders on, occasionally peep to make sure nothing crazy is happening. But it's like, focus on yourself. You know, focus on yourself and your business, and then do the best you can.
Whenever your cleaners try to steal your clients, because it will happen, I always look at it like, okay, if that's your method of getting clients, good luck. I'm grateful that even though we lost as much money and clients that we've lost, we still get calls. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, it's still, the system's still working. The calls are still coming in.
You're not having to steal that from somebody.
We don't have to steal
that in mind, and
anybody.
Let that comfort you of like, you're not, you're doing it the right way. And, you know, we obviously, business is business, but truly it's like, if you have an agreement with somebody and you go around it, that's what we're talking about. Obviously, if your competition, that's not stealing.
No,
like, we're not talking about that. But when they're working,
and then they,
all in all, guys, like, if I could just say two things, if you don't remember anything else that we're saying, like, seriously, because this is a great conversation. I love it. Okay. But just two things. First thing is, slow success builds character. Fast success builds ego. So please understand, if you're going at a pace that you're slow right now, you might feel like you're not making it, you're not doing what you want to do. Understand it takes time. You understand? Think about the seeds in the ground when you plant them. It takes time for it to sprout and then get to its actual, like a tree, or a plant. It takes time, and it's going to take time. Not saying that it takes forever, but it does take time. And just think about all the things that's going to be accomplished if you would have just taken your time versus someone trying to rush you and you're so full of yourself. Now you're making all these mistakes. You look certain way on the outside, but in the inside, you're not happy. You're not happy with everything that's going on. The next thing that I want to let you know is, and what you were saying about not looking at the distractions. Think about horses. You understand what I'm saying? Think about birds. Where are they? Where are their eyes at? Especially horses. Their eyes are they're to the side, and they put like these little flappy things here,
the blinders,
on the side when they're racing, because they don't want them to look at the competition. Because if you keep your eyes on the competition, you'll be distracted. You will fall. But as long as you're focused, and that's the number one thing, staying focused. If you're staying focused towards the goal and don't worry about everybody else, man, look, you're going to accomplish so much. And I guarantee you, don't worry about anybody that's trying to come in your way, because what's for you is for you, guys. Like, straight up, period. Don't attend and entertain the circus of clowns, because they're going to come for you. They're going to do everything they can to distract you. But like I said, as long as you have good people around you and you stay focused, nothing can stand against you. I mark my word for that.
I love it.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful ending note, I think. So I hope everybody enjoyed this conversation, and I mean, this is not the last, I'm sure. I'm sure. And again, me and Miss Katrina are going to be doing an event in March here in Savannah. If anybody is local, that will be amazing. We'll be doing a lot of teaching in person. And then, of course, if you want to learn more information about that, or our ladies here, where can they find you?
They can go to tenacityacademy.com. tenacityacademy.com, and you can meet us on Instagram, Tenacity Academy, and also YouTube, Tenacity Academy.
Perfect.
So everything's Tenacity Academy. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, ladies. This has been so wonderful. Thank you coming to my home, and
you have a beautiful home.
Y'all, I don't want to leave. Like, I just want to just get a pillow and just roll up.
We were in here for like 30 minutes. Like, oh my God, this is cute. Oh my God, look. Oh my God, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't want to see all ghetto and stuff. Like, ooh, this is nice. Like, act like you got some training or something. Like,
thank you. I just got this house. I put a lot of pride and joy into it, and there's a lot to come for it. But yes, thank you, ladies, and thank you to our listeners. I will see you guys on the next episode of Filthy Rich Cleaners. Bye-bye.
Bye.